Hi viewers, welcome to the most important world news bulletin. Saudi Arabia, Iran to reopen embassies within days. Announcement comes after the two countries agreed to restore diplomatic relations during talks in China last month. According to Al Jazeera, Saudi Arabia and Iran will reopen embassies in each other capital within days. Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir has said in a sign of warming relation after the two countries closed their mission 7 years ago. Speaking at a news conference in the Lebanese capital Beirut on Friday, Amir Abdullahian did not give specific dates for the reopening of the embassies, which closed in 2016. The two countries reached an agreement in China earlier last month to re-establish diplomatic relations and reopen embassies after 7 years of tensions. First Republic stock routes worsen after receivership report. If the San Francisco-based lender falls into receivership, it would be the third US bank to collapse since March. First Republic Bank shares plunged after a CNBC report that the lender was likely headed for receivership under the US Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, forcing a route that was wiped out 75% of the stock's value this week. Francisco-based lender falls into receivership, it would be the third US bank to collapse since March. First Republic said earlier this week its deposits had slumped by more than $100 billion in the first quarter. Where pilgrims must meet four conditions to carry Zamzam water via Jeddah Airport or any other airport. King Abdulaziz International Airport said in an infographic that the pilgrims returning to their countries must not put the Zamzam bottles inside their shipped luggage but rather take them on board. The shipping operations require purchasing Zamzam from the main selling point and only 5-liter bottles are allowed. Each pilgrim leaving on an international flight is allowed to carry one Zamzam bottle, provided that they present proof of Umrah registration through the Nusuk app. Oil demand set to rise despite global economy headwinds. Despite escalating geopolitical tension and the resulting economic slowdown, global oil seek demand is expected to increase by 2.3 million barrels per day in 2023, a top official from the Organization of Arab Petroleum Exporting Countries told Independent Arabia. Jamal al-Lakhani, the recently appointed Secretary General of the organization, based his optimistic outlook on the recovering demand from the member of the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, as well as China and India. He did warn, though, that global development will have an impact on the overall growth of the oil sector as central banks around the world are increasing interest rates to tame rising inflation. NHS doctors in Sudan to be airlifted after UK government U-turn. The UK government is advising Britain's National Health Service doctors trapped in Sudan that they can now depart on airlift flights from the country despite previously turning them away, the BBC reported. Almost 30 NHS employees were blocked from the boarding military flights out of Sudan because they were not British nationals. However, the policy U-turn took the place just hours before the final rescue flights were due to depart the country from the Wadi Saidina air base north of the capital Khartoum. The last flight is due to depart at 6 p.m. British Summer Time on Saturday. The group of NHS doctors as well as British nationals still in the country have been advised to make their own way to Wadi Saidina. The UK has already conducted a series of airlifts transporting 1,573 people to Cyprus on military aircraft. Indian Andhra Pradesh school, 9 students die by suicide in 48 hours. As many as 10 lakh students appeared for the exam. The pass percentage in class 11 was 61 and it was 72% in class 12. 9 students have died by suicide in Andhra Pradesh after results of class 11 and 12 exams were declared on Wednesday by the Andhra Pradesh Board of Intermediate Examination. 2 other students are said to have attempted suicide. As many as 10 lakh students appeared for the exam. India's first cable stayed rail bridge is ready, Railway Minister posts video. Anjikar Bridge is the country's first cable stayed bridge of Indian Railway connecting Katra and Raisi in Jammu Kashmir. Union Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw today shared a time-lapse video of the making of the Anjikar Bridge, which is now ready for use. This is India's first cable-stayed rail bridge, which has 96 cables. The total length of cable stands in 650. The last video was shared with a caption that reads, "In 11 months, India's bridge is ready." All 96 cables are set. Total length of cable stands 653 km. UAE Sultan Al Nayadi becomes first Arab astronaut to complete spacewalk. UAE astronaut Sultan Al Nayadi historic spacewalk lasted 7.01 hours in the vacuum of space on the starboard side of the International Space Station truss structure, accomplishing 2 key objectives. UAE astronaut Sultan Al Nayadi has become the first Arab to undertake a spacewalk during Expedition 69, venturing out of the International Space Station and completing his spacewalk. The historic spacewalk lasted 7.01 hours in the vacuum of space on the star truss structure, accomplishing 2 key objectives. One of the objectives of the extravehicular activity, Nayadi, along with NASA flight engineer Stephen Bowen, was to work on a series of involved routing power cables, which was successfully concluded. India ED raid on Byju's CEO office residence. Enforcement Directorate officer raided the office and residency of Ravindran Baiju, Byju's CEO of a edutech company Byju's, and the Enforcement Directorate said that tainted document and digital data were seized as part of an investigation into violation of the Foreign Exchange Management Act. A total of 3 locations, 2 offices, and 1 residency were recently raided under the provision of the Foreign Exchange Management Act, the ED said in a release. The Central Bureau of Investigation said various incriminating documents and digital data were seized during the raid. The Enforcement Directorate said the action was taken based on various complaints received from private individuals. Singh TNL Private Limited has received foreign direct investment of around 28,000 crores rupees during 2011 to 2023. Also during the same period, the Byju's company had remitted around 9,754 crores Indian rupees to various foreign companies in the name of overseas direct investment, the ED said. Country's first Apple store in India, Mumbai. Iconic consumer technology company the world's tech gained Apple's first retail store in the country opened on Tuesday, and the company's CEO Tim Cook himself officially launched the store by opening the store doors. Store has come up in a mall in Mumbai's Bandra Kurla complex business district, and more than 100 staff are working in the new store. Apple is planning to open another store in Saket, Delhi in. Do join us by subscribing our channel for latest news and more updates.